Welcome to episode number 38, and in this episode is kind of a serious episode. We talk about leadership and the crisis that we're in for good leaders and what's going on in the United States of America during this crazy time. So you don't want to miss this one. Stay tuned.
So the big question is, how do ambitious people like us, who grew up listening to the old advice of go to school, work hard for 40 years, and retire when you're old, create a life today that is meaningful, abundant, healthy, and brings joy, while also leading a life that is productive and full of achievement? That is the question, and this is the podcast that will help give you the answers that you're searching for. My name is Del Denny, and welcome to the Upgrade Your Life podcast.
Welcome to the Upgrade Your Life podcast. This is Del Denny, and in today's edition, I want to talk about leadership. And well, what is leadership? Leadership is influence, but we know that, we get that. I've talked about that before, but what I want to talk about is the crisis that we're in where we need leaders. We are lacking in the leadership department these days. We see that with what's going on in the news. In the United States right now, there's plenty of riots because an African-American gentleman, he was killed by some police officers. And it's sad. It is incredibly sad. It shouldn't be happening. It really shouldn't be. Now, I know there's more to the story on both sides. There's always two sides to the story, but regardless of what's happening right now, there's someone that's dead, and it's not right. And the problem is twofold. Number one, it's with the police officers that actually did the deed. And then the second part of it is their commanding officers, the upper leadership. And that's where the problem lies, is we in the United States and the world are missing great leaders. Now, if you look at the track history of the police officers that were a part of, the alleged crime that was committed or whatever it is, they all had track histories and things against their own records, but yet they were able to continue to be police officers, continue to go out there in the community, and these were almost bad eggs, if you will. Now, it's scary because you had higher management, higher leadership saying this is okay. And as leaders, we always set the tone. On a scale of 1 to 10 of being a good leader, number 1 is a poor leader. Number 10 is an extremely great leader. Wherever we fall on that scale, if we're an 8 or if we're a 7, our people below us will never exceed us. And that's the case of why we need to improve. So if we want our organizations to be better, we have to be better. And that's the problem with the police department is, in my opinion, for someone to have 20 counts of misconduct on their record, I really got to think twice about that. We're in a leadership crisis. We look at where our politics are going. No, I'm not talking about Republican or Democrat. I'm just saying, just in general, we are struggling today. And because we haven't had leaders step up. And we can either complain about the problem or we can be the solution. And we look at leadership today and it's like, well, who am I to be a leader? Well, leadership is influence. We're all leaders because we all have some influence. We may have a big following. We may have a lot of people that work for us, or we may have very few people. But I guarantee there's someone that is looking to you for inspiration. I guarantee there's at least one person out there that looks to you. And that's when it's on our job to be a little bit better. Now, there's two types of leadership. There's intrinsic leadership and there's external leadership. Intrinsic leadership is leading ourselves. That's where it all starts. It's getting out of bed early, creating a schedule, keeping your word to that, delivering on the things that are important to you and your values and staying true with those things. And then there's external leadership, and that is leading other people. And so we are in a leadership crisis. We absolutely are. And it's on us right now at this very moment to become better leaders. And so that's the message of the day, is become a better leader. We're in a crisis. We can keep on seeing this stuff happen, or we can do something about it. And I highly recommend studying leadership. There's so many great authors that are out there, and leadership does take time. We just don't become leaders overnight. It's a study. It takes practice, but it's a learnable skill. Anybody can be a better leader if they choose to be. It just doesn't come natural. So anyways, that's it, my friends. Kind of a serious tone right now to today's podcast, but hey, right now in the world, we have a lot of serious things going on, and every now and then we need to get serious and buckle down and really take priority of what's going on. So that's it, my friends. This is Del Denny. Remember, learn, lead, and live to your full potential.